Just proud of them. Solid all the way through. Thought they just stayed with it. The meet felt weird at the beginning a little bit. The final was a 5 o'clock start, and which forced the crowd to be a little bit later. And I don't know, it felt a little flat when we got started, and then there was some delays with some judging, and it just felt a little odd. It took us till the second event to kind of really catch our rhythm a little bit and kind of get headed in the right direction. But really proud of them. I thought it was great. We gave away a little bit on balance beam with some of our acro skills. We had little balance checks and things like that, but overall great. When you can hit those first three and then go to floor and do what we do, we got a great floor group, obviously. We've got legs on this team in terms of floor routines, and that's a comfortable place to be when it's your last event, because you can really kind of slam the door at the end. So proud of them. It doesn't do a whole lot in terms of NQS or anything like that, because we're already counting 198s at home. We need a road score to really make that move. So as crazy as it sounds, theoretically, we might get jumped this week or something as well as we did. So that's the weird part of our sport that sometimes people don't get. But Cal's a good team. I think Alyssa was telling me earlier that I don't know what they got to score, but theoretically we could wind up third. But it really doesn't matter as long as we stay where we want to be. We want to stay in those top four. We want to stay near the top and at the top for SECs, and so that's a good thing. I think tonight certainly helped our confidence. Again, took another step forward with that. We were able to get Sierra back out there at the end and get her another experience on floor, which she needed to kind of rebound a little bit, and it worked out.
I feel like every other coach we talk to in this room is like, well, I just want to focus on tonight. I'm just thinking about this one. But instantly you kind of start talking about the larger picture. Is that because you're so comfortable with how this team will perform here that?
Yeah. I mean, we are comfortable. We're comfortable in this building. We've gotten more and more comfortable on the road, as evidenced by last week. So we're still a work in progress, but we're seeing the kind of growth, and they're staying on message, and they're doing a great job of responding when we challenge them to certain things. And I don't think we're done. I don't think we're exactly where we want to be yet, but we certainly are seeing the growth. And I am trying to look at the big picture in terms of where we want to go. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. And so, when we talk to them, and it's different than when I'm talking to you all, but internally it's about, as I've told you all before, it's about the 5 minutes in front of our face. It's about taking the very next step. Don't step back and look. I don't need them thinking about that. They need to stay focused on the task at hand and the process, and continuing to improve week over week, and identifying the places that we can improve. We got to be intentional about that. And so we'll do Selfie Sunday when we come in and talk about we'll kind of take a look at what we're doing and evaluate, and then get ready to go downtown and get on a podium, which will be nice, and hopefully get a big road score and continue to improve our position.
Coach, looking from the outside, one of the team's biggest focus has been maintaining consistency when competing away from home, as you already stated. How will the team sustain the momentum you've carried since Georgia, considering that the next event you'll have outside of Louisiana will be regionals a month away from now?
Yeah, I like the fact that our season ends with us not having to travel a lot. We get to go downtown and get an away score down there. It's nice because we're gonna be rested theoretically, and it gives us the ability to do the 2 days off we like to do after home meets, versus when we're alternating home and away. Sometimes we only get one, and so I think we're at a place where we're going to be able to rest our legs, and that's important this time of year. A lot of times when you get to April, the most rested team is the one that has the freshest legs, is the one that can perform well. We're going to be next week in a different environment, and that's, albeit not very far away, it is away, and it is a test for us. So, and then we'll come home for senior night and then go to New Orleans for SEC. So I I like the way the schedule lays out. It was intentional when I realized how our schedule laid out in the conference, where we were alternating home and away all year, and it made for us to be able to get this nice, comfortable finish without having to, get on an airplane, come back, get home in the middle of the night, and kind of lose a day where you just kind of a zombie and that kind of thing. So I like the idea, and I believe it's going to keep us rested and in a better spot.
I was scrolling through the leaderboard before they went on Beam, and it was Haley Bryant, Haley Bryant, Haley Bryant, and then she puts in that perfect 10.
Yeah.
And again, another all-around victory for her, and third perfect 10 on floor, and she keeps adding to that. Is it getting I don't want to say boring for you, but repetitive seeing
It's
her?
comfortable. I wouldn't say boring.
Yeah.
I never get tired of watching her, but it's comfortable. It's a reassuring place for all of us when we know that we have that kind of quality at the back end run. It's not just Haley. I mean, there's so many. You saw people step up tonight. Tori on bars. I mean, it's a complete team, and as long as their heads stay where they need to. Look, I can sit up here and sing praises to Haley all night. We do that every week, and I want her to get those accolades. But I don't know what else to say. It's just comfortable, and we know what we're going to get when she goes, and we know that about a lot of them. It's not just Haley, but she has shown it so much that it just. She is human, and it's possible for her to make a mistake. She just doesn't let us see that very often.
We saw KJ Johnson have a really good night tonight. She scored a 9.975 on the floor and 9.875 on the vault. Just how does it feel watching her improve?
Love it. You know what? That routine went 9.97 tonight, and it 9.975, and it deserved it. But the one last week was better, honestly. And so we do everything we can not to focus on scores, but KJ does not always get recognized for the quality of the gymnastics that she does, and I don't mind saying that, because she puts it out there every single week, and it looks the same, and I'm proud of her, proud of the growth she's had. She used to try to press and get in the way, and I think she's trusting herself more. She's shown a lot of growth mentally in terms of being able to be that consistent, and that wasn't always the case for her. And so I'm tickled for that kid. She's a great kid. Tickled, that's something my grandparents used to say. Yeah.
I'm tickled.
I'm just tickled. Scott, I'm tickled to see.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to ask you about Haley again. You said one score in the last 2 years under a 9.825. The great scores are great scores, and scoring is subjective. But the consistency of performance, that's highly unusual. I mean, I know you've been around a lot of great gymnasts in your career, but I mean, that level of consistency is that's maybe the most off the charts thing to me.
There's not many like them. I mean, there are many that have been like that for sure. I mean, I think Kaya's been similar to that, and Aaliyah's building a resume for herself. But as far as ones I've coached, it's been that we're consistent at that level. Courtney Kupets comes to mind, who's coaching at Georgia now. Katie Heenan was another one back in those days. It was super consistent like that, and it's remarkable. You're right. I mean, you're on the right track, because I mean, I don't want to crown her the GOAT just yet, because we got business to take care of. But but she's amazing, and she handles all the commentary about it too, because that's all you guys want to talk to me about is Haley most of the time, and she handles it, and it doesn't seem to bother her, and for some athletes that could get in their head and cause them to press or change who they are. Not her. She's Haley Bryant 24/7, no matter where she is.
I think earlier when you said you couldn't figure out how to talk about her anymore, I couldn't figure out how to ask questions anymore.
Well, stop asking them then.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
no, I don't want to. Look, it's hard because it's so remarkable. We have to talk about her, but you know, at some point, I don't, like I said, like, she's incredible. And, you know, I've said it before, as she goes, we generally go. But it's not by herself, and I want to make sure that I repeat that, because we've got a lot of kids that, whether they're doing 4 events or 2 events or 1, that are working hard and being very consistent and doing the same things and chasing the same level of consistency that they see from the leadership on the team. And certainly you have to have Haley and people like Kaya and Haley and these others that are leading that charge. But it's a characteristic that I'm seeing with all of them at various levels, and so it's important that we don't just you know, she can't do it without everybody else. Take 6 on every event. So
I was more curious about what you thought of Connor's performance tonight. It seemed like she was just more reserved in her happiness after each routine.
yeah, I keep telling y'all there's a lot of layers to that onion, as I've said. You know, she's she felt better this week. Her back was back under control. You know, her back had frustrated her for a little while, and she, you know, had not really kind of given us the straight skinny on some of it. I think sometimes she didn't want us to think she was. Sometimes kids don't want the coaches to know that they're hurting, you know, and that's just. And she has to learn that I need to know, because we have other options, and that's. We don't have to run her into a ditch, you know, physically to be successful. So, but she felt good tonight and looked good, and yeah, she is reserved. Like, I don't think you're ever going to see her jump up and down and go. Maybe she will later in her career. I don't know. I keep encouraging her to try to loosen up, and mostly what I say to her on the floor has nothing to do with gymnastics. It's generally just about trying to get her to smile and getting her to feel good and be happy and show a little bit of stuff. Like when she did that double layout tonight, I walked her. I always quote my grandfather on things, and I said my granddad would have called that a great biggin. You know, that she just chuckles with her kind of cheeky little grin that she has. But you know, I keep trying to pull it out of her, but she is who she is, and I don't want to change it, because she's very cerebral, and if she needs to be drawn down to be that successful, fine. So be it.
Okay, I think we're good.
We're good?
That it? Scott, you can get me on something else?
I could ask another question, but if you got someplace to go. It's
I-
early.
I'm good.
It is
It's
early.
early.
Okay, well, I didn't want to.
Tell you where I'm going to Superior Grill. Yeah,
I've seen you.
There's a wrong plug. I probably shouldn't have done that. Are they sponsors? I'm gonna get in trouble with sports properties on that, probably.
It's not going in the game story.
Yeah.
No shameless plugs.
Yeah.
The advocate. About the crowd, you did fret about this all season long, you know, but you weren't happy about the time of the meet, and it was kind of a late arriving crowd, but they
Yeah.
did show up, so
Yeah.
you have to be, and it wasn't sold out to begin with, so you had to be pleased by all of that.
Yeah, I mean, what was the pay? Did we announce that?
Whatever.
Anybody know what it was?
Max is.
Because they suspended ticket sales 2 days ago, and
Yeah,
said they were
12,580.
oversold or whatever. But no, it was great. I was concerned. I don't understand why we had to have a 5 o'clock start, and I've made that my feelings about that known. I don't think that, you know. I know they wanted to put what they felt the best matchup was on ESPN2 versus the SEC Network, and that's great. Except that if you do it at 5 o'clock and people can't get here, you know, we're at a place where I want to be a good steward and try to be as, you know, we want our crowd in here. We want them to be able to utilize their tickets that they buy and that we're selling. We want them to come here and feed their kids and buy concessions and do all the things that we need as a program to be, you know, fiscally responsible to our athletic department too. And so when the SEC and the conference, you know, not the conference, but the ESPN dictates that, it was concerning to me, because I was worried that half the place would be empty. You know, it wasn't, and so it's a testament to our fans, as you mentioned. I mean, like, our fans got here. They were a little light on the energy early, and maybe that's because they were rushing to get here and had to get the kids out of school and then get here as quickly as possible. But I'm grateful that they went to the effort to get here, because when we came out, I was like, oh, this is gonna not be good. And I guess by the second rotation, I looked up and it was awesome. And they got into it, and we gave them something to get excited about too. And so that sort of built the energy back up a little bit too. But on some levels, it's kind of good for us to go through that, because I've told the team 100 times we can't be dependent on the energy we get from the PMAC. We can enjoy that and we can feed on it, but we can't be dependent on it. We've got to create that for ourselves when it's not there, whether we're here or somewhere else. But it ended up being a great crowd, sold out, 12-5 again. This place is special when it comes to fans. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It is special.
Okay, last question.
Can you just talk a little bit about Ashley and Tori? They both posted
Yeah.
career high scores.
Great stuff. And it's frustrating when you're in the lineup some, and then sometimes you're not, and you're doing the work, and but our kids have done a good job of handling that. I knew this year where that would be a challenge if we had people that were unhappy about not getting in the lineup, and really it came down to Ashley was going to be in, and I was trying to decide, with Sav out this week, I was trying to decide whether it was Olivia or whether it was Tori, and they practiced almost identically, they warmed up almost identically, they both were landing well, they both were hitting their hands, they were doing the things you want to do, and I went to both of them and was like, congratulations. What I want as a coach is to have nausea when I make decisions, and you created that for me, and that's good. That's a good thing. It's a good friendly thing, and I told Liv, I said, you did everything right. I'm gonna get you out there. We're gonna find an opportunity to get you back out there. But she handled it, and she's like, I get it. It's all good, and we're seeing the maturity of that within our team, that they're not becoming self-oriented to the point that it bothers them. They're competitive and they want to get out there, and I understand that. And it's natural to be disappointed when you're not. And especially like with Tori, she's been out, several times, and that can be a hard spot to be, But I'm just proud of the way they're handling it, and we genuinely try to make the best decisions possible for every scenario, and tell them at any moment you could be called upon. I mean, just like what we did with Sierra tonight, and so you got to be ready. You got to be ready to go perform. So
Okay, good.
that's it.
We're good.
All right. Thank y'all.